Today on the Morning Edition, Zelensky's White House redo, a preview of the Ukrainian leader's visit to Washington today and the international backup that he's bringing with him amid talks to end the war with Russia. And tracking Hurricane Erin after it lashes the Caribbean, how the powerful storm is impacting Puerto Rico, and the warning for people along the east coast of mainland USA. And later. In London, musicians are cooking up a symphony with a twist. We'll take you inside the vegetable orchestra that is making music out of produce as the Morning Edition starts now. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Music out of produce, huh? That's interesting.
Just throw in the playing with your food out the window right there.
There you go. Yeah. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. You had a nice, relaxing, hopefully, week off.
It was quite nice. We had some enjoyable weather. Of course, we did see some of those rain showers somewhat last week, and we are watching some rain that could move back in as we welcome in our Tuesday. As far as today, another nice day to be expected. We are going to hold on to mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. We're waking up with that temperature sitting in the mid-50s, so a pleasant start to the morning. And while winds are calm later this evening, we could see some of those winds increasing across parts of South Central. We've got those temperatures sitting in the 40s and 50s to start off the morning. Now slightly cooler through the Copper River Basin. This is where we are waking up to those temperatures sitting in the mid-30s, so we could see some localized areas of some patchy frost through the Copper River Basin. Now, if you are living in the valley this morning, we are expected to see those mostly cloudy skies likely lingering through a good portion of the day with some rain showers arriving tonight into tomorrow. But it is quiet to start off our Monday morning. Not much to write home about across South Central, as we are going to continue to hold on to another stretch of some sunshine today with some pleasant conditions as temperatures warm into the 60s and possibly lower 70s. So get outdoors, soak up that sunshine. Those temperatures, again, expected to warm near 70 degrees throughout the afternoon hours. Of course, that better opportunity will come for areas to the north and into the Copper River Basin. Despite that cloud coverage, we will see, and you can see slightly cooler across the Kenai as well as out towards Prince William Sound. Now, overnight into tomorrow, some winds will increase. We'll see the clouds also on the increase with the chance for some rain showers as we welcome in our Tuesday. Who will have that best chance, how much we can expect to see in that 7-day forecast for you coming up. We are still holding on to some of those warmer conditions across a good portion of the state as well as here in South Central, but one more run at those 70s. I'll have more on that as well as what to expect in the next couple of days coming up in my full forecast.
In our top story this morning, the world is watching the White House following Friday's summit in Alaska with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Today, President Trump will meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy as the Trump administration pushes for peace between the two countries. In a sign of solidarity, Zelenskyy will be joined by European leaders seeking an end to the Russian assault that protects Ukraine's interest and future security. Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Today, the next step in the push for peace, with President Trump hosting Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy at the White House, along with several European leaders signaling their support for Ukraine's interests and future security in any peace deal with Russia. President Trump posting overnight, "Never had so many European leaders at one time. My great honor to host them," while Zelenskyy cautioned against past moves giving up Ukrainian territory, which he said Putin simply used as a springboard for a new attack. Russian President Vladimir Putin, fresh off his Friday summit in Alaska with President Trump, is demanding to keep the roughly 20% of Ukraine that Russia now occupies. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying the U.S. is not pressing for that.
If there's going to be a peace deal, it's not going to look like that.
While defending the Trump administration's push for a broader peace deal over the ceasefire Ukraine and Europe want first, but Russia denied. President Trump had said there would be severe consequences if Putin said no. Secretary Rubio now saying imposing more sanctions imperils negotiations.
The minute he takes those steps, all talk stop.
Democrats slamming the administration's approach and Putin's red carpet treatment in Alaska.
And so Putin walks away with his photo op with zero commitments made and zero consequences. What a great day for Russia.
Special Envoy Steve Witkoff saying Russia did agree to strengthened security guarantees for Ukraine, noting there are plenty of details to discuss when Ukraine gets its seat at the table today. President Trump also posted overnight that Zelenskyy could end the war almost immediately, while appearing to refer to more of Putin's demands to stop the Russian assault. The president saying there's no getting back Crimea, ceded more than a decade ago, and no Ukraine joining NATO. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And in case you missed it, several of Alaska's top leaders gave reaction to Friday's high-stakes meeting. Joe Allgood has that story.
We just talked about some of the rumors we were hearing in the press.
After meeting with President Trump, Governor Dunleavy says there is no truth to a British newspaper's reports that Alaska's rare minerals would be used to make a peace deal with Russia.
And so we asked for clarification, and the folks in the plane, including the president's people, dispel those myths that that's not what was happening.
We're right across the Bering Strait, and we're powerful. And one final thing, as I mentioned to the president this morning, having this in Alaska was also a reminder to the Russians that Americans are good negotiators.
While Senator Dan Sullivan said he stressed Alaska's role in national security to the president aboard Air Force One, given the state's history with Russia. In a CNN interview in the middle of the summit, Senator Lisa Murkowski said that the path towards peace, in her view, is still ongoing.
Because I don't see the two of them coming together in a chummy way and saying, we got to win for the world here. I don't see that.
Yeah.
I'm not so rosy-eyed to think that. So how do both of them claim a little bit of advantage here? And that's the great unknown.
Because there has to be a future summit. There has to be a resolution of this conflict, and resolution of conflicts of this nature only occur when you have conversations with each other.
Beyond that resolution, Congressman Nick Begich says there were also important energy conversations with the president.
With respect to the backdrop of China and China's weaponization of their resources, people want to be close to the United States. They know that it's important to build an economic relationship in addition to a national security relationship.
To see any of these extended interviews, be sure to check out our website, our app, and also our free streaming platforms. In other news this morning, it was a close call Friday along Alaska's mudflats. Girdwood Fire and Rescue spent Friday rescuing a solo fisherman. The angler was out near Ingram Creek near the Kenai Peninsula sign. Crews were racing against time as that tide was coming in, and they say the man was waist deep in the mud. And by the time they got the fisherman to safety, the area where he had been was completely underwater. And a similar situation happened recently. The Anchorage Fire Department responded to a rescue at Ship Creek not long ago. APD says the best way to stay safe is to avoid those mudflats completely.
To avoid the mudflats altogether. Areas like the coastal plains and the stream beds and channels are again very dangerous, and they become very unstable very quickly with rapidly rising tides.
The mudflats are made up of glacial silt that is brought in by the water and the tides, and these areas are solid when undisturbed, but when it becomes wet, it liquefies and compacts around things. More photos are coming in from last Sunday's landslide and tsunami in southeast Alaska. USGS says preliminary interpretation of photos. It shows the landslide triggered tsunami went up the hillside at least 100 feet in Tracy Arm, south of Juneau. The large landslide, it fell onto South Sawyer Glacier and into the water that was near it. The National Tsunami Warning Center says the highest wave that was recorded at the Juneau tide gauge was about 14 inches, which is roughly 60 miles from the slide. In an initial estimate, the Alaska Earthquake Center says the landslide was possibly larger than 100 million cubic meters, which makes it possibly the largest tsunami and landslide in Alaska since 2015. Alaskan fisheries are working to lower production costs brought on by inflation. Lauren Howard with the Alaska Longline Fishermen's Association says it's using AI in hopes of increased efficiencies within the industry. She says certain ships participating in federal fisheries are required to have some variation of a monitor on board, whether that is human or electronic. Howard hopes using AI will cut monitoring costs and says if the technology is successful, they won't have to pay to fly human monitors or paying someone to review the monitor footage.
As we've seen inflation kind of take off cost of operation, well, the cost of flying human observers around or paying someone to review the footage has gone up. The fishery hasn't necessarily gone up in the same level, right? The ex-vessel price has stayed relatively consistent. So we reach a deficit in the program costs.
The project is in the early stages. The association was awarded a grant to fund the project, and they've partnered with a company that's already built a similar program for other fisheries in the United States. Up next, one of Alaska's news source's very own tries to reel in a salmon. We head to Bird Creek to see if Tyler Lane finally lands his catch of the season. And the Alaska State Fair is here. From giant veggies to wild rides. Make sure that you head to Palmer for your favorite fair food and, of course, lots of fun.
Well, we'll see some sunshine today. Rain is set to make a return into Tuesday. I'll have more on that. But first at sunrise, 6:17 in Anchorage, 5:27 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
We're back on your Monday here. The Alaska State Fair, it is underway right now, bringing with it tons of food and around 70 vendors, all with something unique to offer. And of course, there's also the rides, the entertainment. And this year, there's actually a special exhibit to bring a little bit of learning to fairgoers. It's called the Da Vinci exhibit, and it showcases Da Vinci's many famous inventions.
This is a museum quality exhibit you might see in some of the big city museums. We were fortunate to a lot of work and effort to secure this exhibition and bring it to the Alaska State Fair. So it's free with your admission, and you just really want to see it.
And remember, the fair runs through Labor Day, but it is closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and also some things that you want to keep in mind before heading out to the fair. DOT says shoulder work, it is still ongoing on the Connect bridges while construction is happening. Expect speed reductions and the new traffic signals installed between the Glen Parks interchange and the fairgrounds that will remain offline until after the fair ends. Nonetheless, though, Erin, folks have a chance now to kind of get out to the fair yesterday. I mean, it was absolutely stunning. But we know Alaskans, rain or shine, they still go out.
Dan, I saw many reports on social media yesterday that the traffic was, you just want to give yourself plenty of time to get there if you are heading there later today. More sunshine to be expected across parts of South Central. Now into the valley, we are going to likely hold on to cloud coverage through most of the day, still remaining mild across a good portion of the state. Showers set to make a return tonight into tomorrow for parts of South Central, and of course we are winding down our summer. With that being said, we'll still hold on to a good portion of the state with some of those warmer conditions. We do have some light rain showers out towards the slope this morning. Now that's dropping to the southeast later tonight into tomorrow, and that's what's going to bring us our chance for some rain showers. And then it pushes to the south and east. We'll see areas of the Brooks Range and possibly out towards Dead Horse, Prudhoe Bay, with a chance for some areas of wintry mix later this evening into the overnight hours. So fairly quiet to start off the day. There is that system we're watching out towards the northwest Arctic Burrow. This comes as an area of low pressure is set to drop to the south. That's going to help flatten this ridge that we are up under across South Central as well as Southwest Alaska. Meanwhile, that trough out towards southeast, that continues to kind of pull off towards the east. That is what's leading to these quieter conditions across South Central for today. But with that said, you can see out towards the northwest Arctic Burrow this morning where we are seeing those light rain showers. Again, those are going to continue to pull off towards the south and east throughout the day. We'll see areas of the Brooks Range where we could see some wintry mix tonight into tomorrow with some light accumulation. And then later tonight into tomorrow morning, notice that rain beginning to spread across parts of the interior as well as here in South Central. It'll arrive into the valley for the first part of the day. And then, of course, Anchorage and northern parts of the Kenai as well as out towards Prince William Sound. We'll see that rain as we welcome in our Tuesday afternoon. Very quick moving system because by Wednesday we will be back up up under some sunshine in the forecast. And this will bring a nice chance for some rain accumulation. Some locations could see up to 1/4 of an inch of that rainfall, with some areas seeing slightly less amounts. Now, if you live across western and southern parts of the Kenai, largely going to stay on the dry side, but we can't rule out a sprinkle that could clip areas near Kenai, Soldotna, down towards Homer. But for the most part, we are going to see this rain arriving overnight into our Tuesday. For today, clouds will steadily increase into the evening hours. We'll see those temperatures making a run near 70, and of course, we'll see some winds increasing tonight into tomorrow as well. Nothing significant, but those winds could gust anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour. Now, as we begin to wind down August, you can see a good portion of the state will see this tilt towards wetter weather. The only exception will be areas out towards the Panhandle, which likely will begin to see a tilt towards some drier conditions. So there's that rain arriving into our Tuesday. We may see temperatures tomorrow struggle to break out of the 50s in some areas, but we're back near 70 by Wednesday with some sunshine in the forecast. We could be clipped by some showers Thursday with those temperatures warming into the mid-60s. So even though we are winding down summer, temperatures still remaining fairly mild. We'll see a decent shot for some showers here and there as we welcome in the weekend. Those temperatures in the mid-60s, and we'll continue to favor those showery conditions. Thankfully, no chilly conditions overnight, but we will see those temperatures dipping into the upper 40s and lower 50s.
Since his trip to the bait shack, sports reporter Tyler Lane has been doing his best to soak in the knowledge and skills needed to bring home a silver this year. And with the salmon run still underway at Bird Creek, he felt like it was the perfect place to see what he's learned. It's back to the water in this week's fishing report.
Thanks to local expert Dustin Slinker's advice last week, it's back to Bird Creek for the early tide. The race for silvers is ongoing.
This one I am going to fillet it tonight and cook it for dinner.
Open to fishing since July 14th, the creek is slowing down a bit, but the run's not over yet.
We decided an hour and a half ago we're going to do this, so we went and bought some reels, some net, super unprepared as you can see, but caught a fish within a few minutes, and yeah.
We're going to catch some more.
Now let's see if we can join them.
Let's try and do this as delicately as possible.
After a quick plunge, it wasn't long until we got some attention.
There's one right there, right over there.
A couple of nibbles here and there.
Almost. Something was nibbling on it. Let's keep trying.
But this time...
Yeah, what a catch.
Well, as the saying goes, I guess that's why they call it fishing and not catching. We'll catch one day. Tyler Lane, Alaska's news source.
At sport fishing, it is open at Bird Creek until the end of September. And a big change for travelers across the state. Regional carrier Raven Alaska will no longer operate flights in the state. The company posted a message on its website thanking their customers after their years of service. Raven Alaska served both rural and urban areas for years, providing passenger and cargo connections. It has not yet provided any details on when or why it ceased operations. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.